What is dangling, guys? It's Zibara here, and I'm going to be doing the first episode of my budget build series. For the series, it's going to be only common and uncommon cards, so basically anyone can build these decks on a very, very tight budget. If you're new to the game, or you just don't like spending money on the game, you don't have a lot of money to spend on the game, you can build these decks really easy, and they will actually get you quite far. Some of these decks are actually like surprisingly good. Like you don't need to have shiny cards to have a good deck, and you can win some games definitely with these decks. Right, so the first one I've got here is Ryukyu 2, a new card from Guild Power. So on face, her abilities, 5 hand size, 36 health. Really good health total for being a 5 hand size. Especially with her ability, before you take damage from an unblocked attack, reduce that damage by 1. So everything's going to be coming in at 1 damage less. Even if you half block something, it actually does 1 less damage. So you say you half block a 6 damage attack, it's going to be doing 3 damage. You respond before you take the damage, it's only going to be doing 2, which is peanuts for a 36 health. And then her second ability, which really brings her to shine against other people, is your attack with 1 or fewer abilities gets 2 speed and 2 damage. Yes, you heard that right. 2 speed and 2 damage. So basically, I think you can see what I'm going to be doing with this deck. Everything's going to be having 1 or fewer abilities, and it's going to be coming fast and hard. So without further ado, let's go into her attacks. Started off with a great attack from Jet Burn. So Dragon Dive, obviously there's something on it. Very new player friendly. This attack with Ryukyu's 2 speed and 2 damage, which is insane with no cost, is an 8 high for 6, which your rival is going to be committing a lot of resources to try block or take minimal damage from. And it's a 4 difficulty, and it's got a 1 high block. What more could you ask for? So we got 4 of those. And another thing I did with my thought process for this is trying to do everything and on a low difficulty. As you can see from the attacks, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, we don't actually have anything above 5. So because we're a 5-hander, we're not going to be building as much, so we need to have everything cheap to play, so we're not committing as much in case we don't get killed in that turn and we want to try survive the next turn. But it doesn't really matter, because even though these cheap attacks don't really do much damage or aren't very fast, Ryukyu just says, I don't care, that doesn't matter, this is got 1 or less abilities, it's going to be coming in extra fast and extra hard. It may as well be a 5 difficulty with how hard it hits. So the next one is a 3 difficulty attack, which is Summon Nomus. 3 mid for 3 in Ryukyu. It's a 5 mid for 5. Like, there's not many shiny 5 difficulty attacks that really do that much. So as a common, great in Ryukyu, great low block. It's got a great enhance. The next card you play gets -2 difficulty. Your rival may commit 2 foundations to cancel this ability. So this is making your already cheap cards even cheaper. Like, you're going to play them. You play this second after a Dragon Dive. It's on a 4. You check a 3. You're only going to commit 1. You can say your next 4 difficulty is going to get -2 difficulty, which is basically ignoring progressive. It's only on a 4. You check another 3. You're only going to be getting a 1 again. You've only committed 2 foundations for 3 attacks. And that's with bad checking. That's pretty crazy. And if your rival wants to say, nah, I don't want you to have this -2, they're going to be committing 2 foundations, which is essentially giving you 4 speed, almost, theoretically. So that was my thought process behind that. A 5 mid for 5 damage. 3 difficulty. We've got 4 of those. Flash Fire Fist, Hell Spider. In Ryukyu, on face before any abilities, this is a 6 high for 8. 6 high for 8 on a common card. 4 difficulty, crazy. And also, you mill 2, your attacks this turn get a speed. So you play this one first after these. This is now a 7, 8, 9 speed. This is now a 3, 4, 5, 6 speed. A 3 difficulty with 6 speed and 5 damage. Crazy. So yeah, that was the thought process behind there. This is an opener. It's already like a really good like damage opener. Like they want to block it because it's 5 speed for 8 damage in Ryukyu. You don't want to be taking 8 damage. You want to be committing resources to either reduce the damage or try and make it easier to block. Because even at 5 speed, they have to play at least a 1 high block. They're going to be committing at least 1 foundation to pass the check. Great opener. If they don't want to, because they don't want to get rid of their high blocks, they might think you have more. It's doing 8 damage. They're going to reduce the damage. So that's my thought process there. We're playing that as a 4 of. Great opener, giving everything else speed. Another one here, we have Drunken Uppercut from Yu Yu Hakusho. Only has 1 ability because it has only powerful. In Ryukyu, this is a 7 low for 5. 1 mid block. And these are all great blocks. So yeah, a 7 low, sorry, for 5. With powerful 3, you've got, say some of your other ones hit, you've got momentum, you just dump into this. It's already 7 speed. And it's a random low. Like, we haven't shown any other low attacks yet. People don't like to hold low blocks yet until the new cards get more played and people realize they're really good lows. Next one is Biting Dragon Grab. This is some damage guarantee for your momentum. So you want to dump the momentum into this. This is how you get it. In Ryukyu, this is a 5 mid for 7 throw, which is like, if they don't reduce the damage, it's doing 4 at least. And they have to block it with 5 speed. Pretty self-explanatory. Great, we've got that as a 2 of. Ranging Rush, if you have 1 on momentum, gets 2 speed and 1 damage. You've got the momentum from Biting Dragon Grab the last turn. This now becomes, with just Ryukyu, it's a 6 for 6. With itself, you spend the momentum. It's now an 8 for 7 on a 4 difficulty attack. Not bad. But that is a 2 of. Creative Stunner, another 3 difficulty. In other decks, this is like a pretty bad card. In Ryukyu, it's great. It's only got the 1 ability, stun 1. They get to stun 1. It's a little bit faster technically. In Ryukyu, it gets the 2 and the 2. It's a 5 for 5. That's what makes Ryukyu so great with these little piddly 3s. You get to play this at the end of a string. They're not really going to have much resources left to block 5 speed, and it's going to hit them for 5 damage. At a 2 of. So that's my attacks. These cards are all very easy to get your hands on because they're from the last 3 sets. Would be like, you could get these for free. People would give them to you. They would have that many. I know I would, because I have got so many of these cards. I want to get rid of them. They're taking up too much space. So you can get those all for free, or if you buy them from a card shop, that will be pennies. Right, into the foundations. We've got Male Bonding at a 4 of. Male Bonding, we take with Ryukyu. We're trying to take as little damage as possible if we can't block it. So we take a 3 damage attack, 4 damage attack. It's then only a 3 damage attack. We flip Male Bonding, we get to build another attack, ready for our next turn. Or we half block something. It's a 4 damage, we half block it. Comes to 2 damage, we respond Ryukyu. It's only 1 damage. We get to build a free foundation with Male Bonding from it. So that's the thought process behind Male Bonding. Next one is Saving Bakugo at a 2. This is just to save one of our good foundations, an extra draw if they do want to flip one of our foundations, because we are a 5 hand size, we want to try sneak in some draw power every now and then. And it's a 0 difficulty. Energy suction, only at a 2 of, because we're not going to be throwing too many attack strings. Probably more into the late game we'll be throwing them. If we've got one of these in our hand, if we've drawn it off something, off a bunch of cards, after we've sculpted our hands, we throw one of these down. Or if we want to just do a poke, get some health back. Say we took 1 damage from something, we want to get that back. We put out one of the throws, we do our poke, we get to build this afterwards, we get to build a couple more. Just to get more health, and it's a good low block and only 1 difficulty. Big Appetite at a 4. This is just free card draw and free hand cycle to get our attacks. Because we're only a 5 hand size, a lot of the times we're going to be less hand size than our rival. We're playing against a 6 hand size, 7 hand size character. Not a lot of people like to play 5 hand sizes. Characters just because they're 5 hand size. So we will get to draw a card and then just keep it because we're 5 hand size. This is the free draw to get extra attacks or maybe extra blocks if we really need it. Facing Danger. Another great card in Ryukyu. Seeing has her defensive aspect is reducing damage. So they've absolutely nuked one of their attacks. It's unblockable. It's 10 million speed, 10 million damage. We destroy this. We change its damage to 5. We wait until they've used up all their damage pumps. They can't pump it afterwards. And then we take the 5. We say, hang on, we're Ryukyu. We actually only take 4. That's like, what, 10% of our health? That's not much. So that was Facing Danger. Number 10 Pro Hero, just a staple card, 0 difficulty if we need to build it, 1 high block if we need to block with it, a 6 check if we need to pass a 6 check. It's blank. Ultra Regen. I've got a set of 4 of for a couple reasons. It kind of meshes well into Ryukyu because after you take 5 or more damage from an attack, we get to draw 2 cards and gain 2 health. Say we pop this and we either just take it without responding Ryukyu, and then we get to draw 2 cards and gain 2 health, so it's essentially only on a 3 instead of a 4, and we get to draw cards for blocks for their further attacks. Or they say we popped Facing Danger and we missed that they had an extra damage pump to get it to 6 damage. We Ryukyu it anyway and it only gets to 5. We still get to pop this. It still only becomes a 3. Or if we just like have to take a 6 damage attack, we make it 5 with Ryukyu. We take the 5. It's actually only for 3 and we get to block more. And it's a 6 check. 6 check. And also, like, we're not too fussed about this 4, because if we want to build it, we're going to build it later on. Maybe our turn 2, we play it first, and then we play one of our little 3 diffs after it, just for like a poke, or we play like one of our 4 diffs. It's on a 5. We're not too fussed about it, because it's going to save us in the long run. So yeah, that's Ultra Regen. Dangerous Hybrid. This is for like damage management, which is important with Ryukyu, because if it's like a throw, we want to get it to that even spot, so it's not so we're actually taking like 1 less if it's an odd number or even number. Damage management for the -1 momentum outlet if we need a cycle, because this is quite a slim deck. And emergency speed pump if we really need to get an attack through. And it's a good high block. And it's only on a 2 because of playing it as a form. One Man Inferno, just a filler card. They've stacked a good check on top. They've looked at their next check and they've liked it. We get it off the top. 0 difficulty. We need more 0 diffs. It's hard to find 0 diffs on Earth symbol. Here we go. More damage management. I know a lot of people hate on this card because it's so costly, but it's commit for -2 damage with Ryukyu. We've got 5 hand size. We're not gonna be blocking a crazy amount. And also we get to nuke an attack if we want to. It's a 5 damage attack. We commit it. We remove it. We don't really want to be removing it because that's assets gone for our next turn. But it's a 5 damage attack. We -2. We -2. It's down to 1. We Ryukyu. We actually take 0. So yeah, Heroic Endurance. I know a lot of people hate on it. One of my favorite cards of all time, especially in my Amajiki deck, but it's great. I try slip it into any deck I can. It's just a free draw. If you've got momentum, which it's quite easy to get momentum, it's quite easy to slip an attack through, especially with Ryukyu, giving everything 2/2. And it's on a 1 difficulty, like, or if you need to, like, if you don't have the momentum, you don't have the right block zone, they've thrown out a high, you've only got a low, you pitch it, you get another one, you get the right block zone, or at least a mid. So that's my thought process with fearsome transformations. Heat tolerance, your rival's doing a long attack string, it's only flip cost. Flip if it's your rival's 3rd or greater attack this turn, it gets -4 damage. It's a 5 damage attack, gets -4. Ryukyu gives it an extra -1. It's done 0 damage to you. Just damage management, especially with Ryukyu. Caught misbehaving. Flip after your rival builds a foundation during the combat phase. Flip and commit it. This is kind of more just like a filler. Was trying to get block zones and just easy difficulty to build. It can be handy and situational, but it's like I'm only doing this on commons and uncommons, so there's gonna be some cards that are just like, yeah, they do a job and sometimes, but like it's a filler card. And then we've got assessing All for One's motive. Flip after a card leaves your momentum due to a rival effect, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. So this is just saving our momentum for maybe fearsome transformations or one of these ones that use a momentum outlet, like that one that gives the 2-speed ranging rush. This is just to save it, and it's also common, uncommon, so kind of filler, but kind of actually really good for what we're trying to do. And that's the Ryukyu deck. Those are the attacks. These are the foundations. If you would like to see this deck on UVS Ultra, there will be a link in the description for you to go through. You can copy it, change it around a bit. But if you're a new player, this is definitely a deck I would recommend to play. All these cards are pretty easily accessible. Maybe some of these older ones, like we've only got old ones. These are the oldest ones here, the League of Villains and Heroes Clash. This one will be rotating out next year, but other than that, like, they're pretty easy to get a hold of. These are in abundance. Any of the ones with these backs in abundance, easy to get for, like, you could get them for free. Just go to the local store where people are playing them. Just say, hey, you guys got any of these cards? I would love to have them. They will give them to you. Just trust me on that one. They do not care. They're not shiny. They're not worth anything. So yeah, you could easily build this deck on a very, very tight budget, like no money budget. Yeah, this is the first video of a budget build deck series. If you'd like more of this, subscribe and like the video, and I will see you in the next one.